Okay, so we just went through that example where we found the sales tax for a shirt and then added that onto the price and figured out how much the total price was going to be. There is a much faster way of doing this so that we don't need to find this individually and then add it on to here. And I would suggest that moving forward, that's really what you want to be working with. Now, there's nothing wrong with this. If this works for you, it's okay, but there is a much easier way. And it starts off with really just this idea of having 100% as our baseline value. In other words, if I need to pay 100% of the original price, then that is just the original price, right? 100% is just like our baseline value. If you do the calculation, right, 100% of $18 is just $18, right? You can go through all the math over here and it would come out to be exactly that. So we can think about these adding on taxes or getting a discount as changes from that 100%, right? So what I'm doing here is adding on 8.31% to that 100. So, right, so if I'm adding on an 18% tip to my order, that would be 100%, right, for the original price plus an additional 18. I can put those together, and I'm really just looking for 118% of the original price. I can do that directly instead of trying to figure out what 18% is and then add it on to the price. It would work similarly for subtracting off a percentage discount of 25%, right? So that would be, I would start off with 100% price, and if I subtract off that 25% discount, I'm getting 100 minus 25, or 75% of the original price. So this saves me a step of finding that 25% and then subtracting that from the original price. Now, where this kind of thinking really helps out is, let's say we've done an investment over 5 years, right? And the first year it went down 5%, then it went up 6%, then down 2%, and up 7%, then up another 3%. That is very tedious to do all those individual calculations directly, but if we actually think about that in terms of a percentage change, it becomes a lot easier. I'll talk a lot more about that in a couple of sections from now when we actually start talking about increases and decreases over time, but I wanted to at least mention it here right now. So let me just do it that way real quick so you can see how much shorter this whole thing gets. Okay, so instead of finding 8.31% of the $17.99 for the shirt, what I'm looking for is actually this 8.31% is getting added on to the price of the shirt, right? It's not like a discount. It's getting added on. So what I'm really looking for then is 108.31%. So I just added on 100, right, plus the 8.31% tax. Okay? So I'm able to get that to be 108.31% of the $17.99. Well, if I do that, that's 108.31% means per 100. And then again, think of this of as times 17.99. And if I do that directly, I just have my answer right now without needing to do any additional work, or even more importantly, having to remember that I need to do additional work. All right, so when I do that, I get $19.48 when I round, which is, of course, obviously what we got last time. If I ever needed to find the actual tax, I could always just subtract, right? So this is just by far a much more straightforward method of doing that. So I would suggest trying that as we start going through more and more examples. It's just considering these taxes, additional taxes, or discounts as changes from 100%.